Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Father James. Nice, warm, hot/warm coffee today because I'm sitting, as you can see, in the entranceway to St. Peter's Church as I come to you this afternoon. And right before we went live with the camera, we prayed. We always say a prayer, and my prayer today was, Lord, well, among saying other things, I said, Lord, help us to say things the best way possible and not to say anything dumb. So that's usually my prayer. That's the kind of prayer I pray before I preach as well. Something like that anyway. So I'm here, you can hear the beeps, the beep, beep, beep. That's the snowplow. And good news is that we were in touch with the snowplow company this weekend. If you were around the building, around our location here, the snow removal wasn't the greatest. I mean, they were probably pretty busy, but they're kind of clearing up now and making sure that we maintain the quality that we've had before. So don't be distracted by the BP noise. That just means that things are getting cleaned up. It's been a very interesting week this past week. In this very place on Friday, we had our first morning of Eucharistic Adoration after Mass, and I spoke about this last week. Oh, by the way, I'm drinking my coffee from the Our Lady of Guadalupe mug here because I'm talking about our parish, obviously. And one of the things, as I was saying, Eucharistic Adoration last week, you know, when I first thought of this idea, thought, well, we need 10 people to make it happen. And I was hoping, you know, if we got 20, 25 people, that would be amazing. Do you know we had almost 70 people in the course of the morning? I'm absolutely thrilled. I mean, it makes my heart light. I'm really, really encouraged by this. I think it's phenomenal. And I want to thank every single person who came out to take some time of prayer. Let's keep on going. We're going to keep it going every single Friday, and hopefully we can continue to grow this because it's a great experience that will enrich your life tremendously if you come and make an appointment with Jesus. That's what it is, right? It's just an appointment with the Lord, and we're doing it as an act of ministry, an act of love to intercede, regardless of how we pray when we're here, to offer it as intercession for the sake of the transformation of our parish, the renewal of our parish. Now, speaking of such things, and the fact that getting Eucharistic Adoration going is a bit of a dream of mine for this parish. Speaking of dreams, because it's very often that good things happen when we dream. You know, I often think of the words of Martin Luther King Jr. at the Washington Mall, who said, "I have a dream." He didn't say, "I have a plan." Not that exciting, plans. He didn't say, "I've got an idea. Hey, I got a great idea." He didn't say, I have a to-do list. I have a bunch of things I think we should do. Not very inspiring, but he said, "I have a dream." So dreams are inspiring. And as we think about our future as a parish, we've been talking about this for the last year and a half. We know that buildings in and of themselves are not going to determine our future one way or another. Renewal of a parish never happens simply by changing your address or by renewing your building. But sometimes the renewal of a building is necessary. That's why starting this Saturday, we're beginning a 3-session series of consultation with parishioners around the idea of a renewal of this parish location. You can hear the wind blowing as well. It's like really, really windy today. So last year we went through a process of discernment called the New Foundation Series. The Options Committee looked at 5 proposed options. They landed on the idea that to go forward into the future, we need to renew this location as the most economic option. It's the option that makes the most sense for a multitude of reasons. And so what we want to do is gather parishioners and begin to look at this idea. It's the first of 3. What we're going to do this Saturday is we're going to look at what's the core purpose of our parish, and how does that core purpose, which is really about making and forming disciples, how do we need to renew our building to properly fit that purpose? Right now, our building, as it presently exists, it's a beautiful space for the celebration of the Eucharist, and then it's set up for maximum dispersal into the parking lot. 7 exits that go to the parking lot, as if all we need is the Eucharist and nothing else. And so that's part of the challenges. If we're going to build around this building additional meeting spaces and such, what kind of space should that be? So we're going to unpack that. We're going to have people on Zoom. The plan is right now to also have some people in person, but a lot of the work will be done on Zoom. Because of the limitations of COVID and being able to have small groups and have only so many people, we're really limited with what we can do. But that's the plan right now, to be hybrid, to do it, have some people here and on Zoom as well. If we do make the decision to go completely on Zoom, there will be other follow-up meetings in case you're not able to be with us on Zoom as at this present time. So these meetings that are happening right now are not going to exhaust the consultation process. So that's the idea, and the ultimate reason of all of this is really it's not just about our dream for what our building could be, for the sake of mission. It's very important. It's not about, what can we build for ourselves? No, it's how can we add on to this building for the sake of the mission that God has given us, the mission to reach Dartmouth. And ultimately, it's really about saying, what is God calling us to do? And to discern that together. So this is the beginning of this conversation. I hope you can join us. Please visit our parish website to register. I think at this point, before adding in, the pastoral council and the dreaming committee and such, the people organizing it, we have over 40 people already registered. So hopefully those numbers will go up a little bit, because this is a very, very important conversation we're going to have. Now, speaking of buildings in the future, and the reason why I'm sitting in this space, I've got a little announcement for you. One of the things that we have to grapple with as a parish is that this is what you see behind me is the closest thing we have as a foyer. It's not very big. And there's no separation between this space and the worship space. So if you've been here for Mass, you know that any conversation here at the entranceway, you can hear all over the church. And so this space as well is broken up with this kind of glass wooden thing. I call it a thing, I'm not sure what to call it, but the space is kind of divided up, and it's there's not a lot of space to move around. So we're thinking this, in the meantime, if we've got potentially a couple of years before I don't know, maybe at some point in the future we're going to have, outside these doors will be a foyer of our new building. In the meantime, we don't have a place to gather. I'm thinking when COVID is over, after weekday Mass, to have a place to have a coffee social, to have a place here where we can set up a welcome booth to welcome people who are new to our parish, to have a place where people can actually gather and interact and speak without disturbing the people who are inside the church for prayer. For that reason, we've been, for the last couple of months, doing some work behind the scenes, consulting with different people, looking at different options. And I want to let you know today what it is that we're going to be working on in the next couple of weeks. We've already run this idea by a number of parishioners to get the temperature of what people think about it, and so far it's been universally a positive response. So hopefully, it'll continue to be so. But here's what we're planning to do. You'll see behind me that the wooden glass framey thing, we're going to remove it. And the big standing stone holy water font that, I don't know, must weigh a couple of tons, that big rock, we're going to try to actually remove it. And we're going to put actually doors here, right in front of me, where my knee is, will be a door that obviously can open, so that we will have a space back here that could potentially, without social distancing, have 20, 30 people back here fairly comfortably, and also provide some soundproofing between the foyer and the main body of the church. So basically what we're saying is we're going to create a small foyer which will serve us on a temporary basis over the next year or two until, God willing, we're able to do something even better. We will be looking at how to make this space more welcoming and hospitable, including the possibility of a welcome booth as well. So I just want to let you know that that's what's going to be happening. We're going to be starting this towards the end of January in the next couple of weeks. So we'll keep you posted about that. Finally, this coming Sunday, we will be having another episode of Before the Altar. I'm going to be interviewing Dorothy Wincey from the parish leadership team. Now, Before the Altar is an interview, half-hour live interview that we shoot before the altar, because it's the best camera angles. But it's also this sense of coming before the altar. When we come before the altar, there's a sense of openness, laying it down. And we want to kind of try to go a bit deep with people about why do you do what you do. And I want to interview Dorothy. Dorothy's one of our key leaders in our parish, and I want to, in addition to getting her to describe a little bit about what the leadership team is and what it's like to be on the leadership team, just get a bit more about what makes her tick and what makes her do what she does, because she and her husband Ray are amazing parishioners who do so much around the parish. So there'll be a time for live interaction. We'll be looking at on YouTube Live, and you can send in your questions, and it's just a great experience for a live interaction. So check that out. That's at 1 p.m. on Sunday, this coming Sunday, live. So I hope that by the time you watch this, tomorrow or the next day, that you survive the wind. We've got a huge windstorm that's going to be hitting the city tonight, over 100-kilometer-an-hour winds. That's, for those of you south of the border, that's 60 miles an hour winds. So I hope it's a prophetic sign of the wind of Pentecost, the wind of the Holy Spirit coming to bring renewal. I just hope it doesn't cause too much destruction before it brings renewal. But that's part of the thing, isn't it? Oftentimes, before something is new, something has to be removed. So anyway, let's keep that in mind and stay safe and stay warm. God bless you.